What? That kitchen's awful hot. What, Essie? I said, what? That kitchen's awful hot. Those new candies I'm making just won't ever get cool.
Do you have to make candy today, Essie? It's such a hot day.
Yes, I got all those new orders. I went out last night and got a bunch of new orders.
My, if it keeps going on like this, I suppose you'll be opening up a store.
That's what Ed was saying last night. But I said, no, I want to be a dancer.
The only trouble with dancing is it takes so long. You've been studying such a long time.
Only 8 years. After all, Mother, you've been learning plays for 8 years. We started about the same time, didn't we?
Yes, but you shouldn't count my first 4 years because I was learning to type.
Finish the second act yet, Mother?
What, Essie?
Did you finish the second act?
Oh, no, I've just got Cynthia entering the monastery.
Did they let her in?
Oh, yes, I made it Visitor's Day, so of course anyone can come. So she arrives on Visitor's Day and just stays.
You mean she stays the whole night?
Oh, yes, she stays 6 years.
6 years? My, I bet she busts that monastery wide open. Oh, I bet that candy's already up. I'll go get some for you, Mother.
6 years later.
Mr. DePina! Mr. DePina! Will you bring up one of those skyrockets, please? I want to show them to Miss Sycamore.
Sure.
Say, Penny, what do you think of these firecrackers they make? They can sell them 10 strings per cent. Take a listen. Nice, huh?
Paul, dear, were you ever in a monastery?
No, I wasn't. Say, wait till you see those new skyrockets we make. Blue stars, gold stars, bombs, and then the balloon. Mr. DePina actually saw the balloon.
Sounds lovely. Did you do all that today?
Yes, please. Here we are. Look, we can make these at 18 cents and sell them for 50. How many do you think we can make before the 4th of July, Mr. DePina?
Say, we've got 2 weeks yet. What day are we taking about Mount Vernon?
About a week from now. Say, we're gonna need a bigger booth this year. Got a lot of stuff made up. Come on, we're not through yet.
The Seymour. Look, the balloon. It's too close to the powder.
Let's see, we got the balloon here, gunpowder chamber. Ah, nothing's here. Here, I'll go take a look at it. Put it down in the basement.
Mr. DePina, if a girl you loved entered a monastery, what would you do?
I don't know, Miss Sycamore. It's been so long.
Is Alice coming to dinner?
What, Essie? Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
She's only been home one night this week.
Yes, I know.
Here, try one, Mother. They'll be better when they're harder, but I want to know what you think.
Oh, they look lovely. What do you call them?
I think I'll call them love dreams.
That's nice. I think I'm going to put this play away for a while and go back to the war play. Essie, what do you think?
Oh, are you, Mother?
Yes, I sort of got myself into a monastery and I can't seem to get out.
Oh, it'll come to you, Mother. Remember how you got out of that brothel?
Did you feed the snakes, Essie? They look hungry.
No, not that.
Well, try and feed them before Grandpa gets home. You know how fussy he is about them.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, and did you take Groucho and Harpo into the kitchen with you? Please bring them back. They inspire me.
Yes, Mother.
Believe I'll have another love dream.
Mr. DePina looked right past the balloon. It was too close to the gunpowder chamber.
Would you like a love dream, Paul?
No thanks. I got a wash.
Here you are, Mother.
Here you are. I'm going back to the war play, Paul.
Oh, that's nice. We're gonna put some more red stars after the bomb, and then the balloon. That ought to do it.
You know, Mr. Kollenkopf says I'm his most promising pupil.
You'd think that with 40 monks and one girl that something would happen.
Listen to this.
I like that, Ed. Did you write it?
No, thank you.
Well, it's got a lot of you in it.
we have a baby?
Oh, I don't care. I'm okay with it if Grandpa is.
Well, we should ask him.
Labor play, religious play, sex play. I know it's here someplace.
I was right about the balloon. It was too close to the powder. Hey, Mr. Pina, anything printed? How about some calling cards? No thanks. I've still got the first 1,000. Well, call on somebody, will ya? All right. Hey, what's for dinner? I'm ready to print the menu.
Let's see. Cornflakes, watermelon, some of those new candies I made, and some type of meat. I forgot.
I'm ready to print the menu in a bold Comic Sans. You know, if I'm gonna bring out those candies tonight, better print up some descriptive mail after dinner.
Do you think anybody reads those things, Ed, that you put in the candy boxes? Oh, here's the wordplay. Poison gas. Ed, were you ever in a monastery?
No.
Where's Grandpa?
Oh, he's over at Columbia this afternoon. The commencement exercises.
What you there for all the time anyways?
Oh, I don't know. It's so handy, just around the corner.
Oh, Mr. DePina and I are going to be taking those new fireworks up to Mount Vernon in the morning. Do you think you could give us a hand?
Sure.
Say, I was up in the bathroom just now reading Trotsky. The book's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I wrote it there.
Who is it?
Trotsky, you know, the Russian Revolution.
Oh,
Well, it struck me as a great fireworks idea. Remember the last great days of Pompeii?
of course. Palisades Park. That's where we met.
Well, I'm going to do the Russian Revolution, a full 1 hour display.
Oh, that's lovely.
And the red would be the flag?
Sure, and the Cossacks, and the Tsar.
And the thing with the slaves?
No, the Russian Revolution. Oh, why hello, Grandpa.
Well, sir, you should have been there. That's all I can say. Should have been there.
Was it a nice commencement, Grandpa?
Oh, wonderful. Get better every year.
Really, Mr. Grandpa? How many were there?
Oh, it's been 2 acres. Everybody graduated. And much funnier speeches than they had last year. Now, you don't know how lucky you are to be snakes.
Now that Grandpa's home, we can eat. We won't wait for Alice.
We made a new skyrocket today, Grandpa. Wait until you see it.
Evening, Grandpa.
Mr.
Say, Mr. DePina, didn't we make a fine skyrocket today?
Yes, we both certainly did.
I wonder why they don't have fireworks shows at commencement.
Oh, don't make enough noise. Get good commencement orator and drown out a whole carload of fireworks. Say just as much, too.
Don't the graduates ever say anything?
Oh, no. They just sit there in cap and nightgown, get their diplomas. Then along about 40 years from now, they suddenly say, where am I?
Hello, Grandpa. Have a nice day.
Well, have a nice day. Don't I even get kissed?
Sorry, Grandpa.
Well, I'll take a tomato, too. Could have used one of these this afternoon.
Water?
No, thank you.
Mother?
Oh, no thanks, dear.
What do you want to play something there?
Grandpa, did you get that letter that came for you?
I don't know anybody.
It's for you, though. Has your name on it.
Well, that's funny. Where is it?
I don't know. Mother, what's Grandpa's letter that came for us last week? What? The letter that came for Grandpa? Oh, I don't know. I remember seeing the rats on it.
Well, who was it from? Did you notice?
Yeah, it was on the outside.
Well,
See, it's got it.
really?
Yes, there was a couple of them before that, too.
Well, if any more comments, I really wish you'd give them to me.
Yes, Grandpa.
I think I'll go out to Westchester tomorrow afternoon and do some snake hunting.
God is the state. The state is God.
What's that?
God is the state. The state is God.
Who says that?
Trotsky.
Oh, well, that's all right. I thought you said it.
You know, it really is printing. Nice and short. Squeeze.
And so, the beautiful princess entered the castle and kissed her mother. And she greeted her darling father, hello, and her grandpa.
Hello, darling.
And what do you know it, Grandpa? They turned into the Sycamore family. Surprised? Oh, Alice, I like it. Do you? Is it new?
Oh, it's nice and summery.
Where'd you get it? Oh, I took a walk during lunch hour.
Hey, you done pointed out a lot of walls recently. It's the second new dress this week.
Oh, I just like to brighten up the office every once in a while. You know, they call me the K. Francis of Kirby and Company. Well, what's new around here in the ways of, oh, your plays and Groucho and Harpo and your snakes, Grandpa, and the xylophone, the printing press. Oh, gosh, Dad, I bet you've been in that cellar all day.
I'm going back to the war play, Alice.
Oh, really, Mother?
Play Alice a Beethoven thing you wrote.
Okay.
Yeah, Alice. You better let her all the way to pick the wrong one out.
Really?
Tennis. Opportunities. It's a priceless thing to me.
Listen, people. Listen. I am not home to dinner tonight. A young gentleman is calling for me.
Really? Who is it? Oh, isn't that nice?
I have done everything possible to keep him from coming here, but he's calling for me.
Who is it?
It's the Vice President of Kirby and Company, Mr. Anthony Kirby, Jr.
The boss's son? Wow.
Oh, it's the boss's son, just like the movie. That explains the new dresses.
And not being home for dinner for 3 weeks.
By Sherlock Holmes.
Are you going to marry him?
Yes, Mother, of course, tonight. Meanwhile, I just have to go upstairs and put on my wedding dress.
Is he good looking?
Yes. Oh dear, what time is it?
I don't know. Anybody know what time it is?
Let's turn the peanut light down.
It's 5 o'clock a couple hours ago.
Oh, I know better than to have asked you people. Mother, will you please let me know the moment he arrives?
Yes, of course, Alice.
Yes, but I mean, the moment he arrives.
Of course, dear.
Well, be sure.
Oh, well, what do you think of that?
Oh, she seems to like him, if you ask me.
I should say so. She's got it bad.
Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if she married him? We could have the wedding right in this room.
Now wait a minute, Penny. This is the first time he's called for that girl.
Oh, you only called for me once.
Well, young people are different nowadays.
Well, I don't know. Look at him and I. He came to dinner just once and stayed.
Anyhow, I think it's wonderful, don't you, Grandpa?
Well, she certainly seems happy about it.
He must be crazy about her. Maybe he's the one who's taking her out every night. Oh, that must be him. I'll get it. Remember what Alice said. Be very nice to him.
All right, let's take a look at it.
Well, welcome to our little home. I'm Alice's mother, and that's Grandma, Mr. Sycamore, and that's Alice's sister Essie, and Essie's husband, Eddie. Now, give me your hat and make yourself right at
No,
home.
you're mistaking me for somebody else.
How's that?
My car.
Wilbur C. Henderson, Internal Revenue Department.
That's right.
Well, what can we do for you?
Is it Mr. Martin Vanderhoff live here?
Oh, yes, sir, that's me.
Well, Mr. Vanderhoff, I want to talk to you about a little matter of income tax.
Income tax.
Mind if I sit down?
No, go right ahead.
Mother! Oh, Granny! No, it isn't, dear. It's an internal something or other. Pardon me.
Mr. Sycamore! Mr. Sycamore! Look! Pardon me, Mr. Sycamore. It's not open.
It's not now. Grandpa's busy. Sorry.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, the government sent you several letters about this, but we have not had any reply.
Well, that's what those letters were.
I told you they were from the government.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, our records show that you have never paid a single income tax.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Why not?
Well, I don't believe in it.
But you own property, don't you?
Well, I do.
And you receive a yearly income from it.
Yes, sir.
About $3,000 to $4,000.
About that?
And you've been receiving it for years.
Oh, yes, I have. Since 1901, if you want the exact date.
Well, Mr. Vanderhoff, the government's only concerned from 1914 on, since that's when income tax started.
Well,
Well, Mr. Vanderhoff, it seems you owe the government 24 years back in income tax.
You can't do that. That's outlaw.
And what is your name?
What matter does that make?
Have you ever filed an income tax return before?
No, sir.
And what was your yearly income last year?
$28.60, wasn't it, Essie?
Yes, sir.
If you please. Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, you know there's quite healthy for not paying income tax.
Penalty?
now let me ask you something, Mr. Henderson. Suppose I pay the government this money. What are they gonna do with it?
How do you mean?
Well, what do I get for my money? I go to Macy's, I buy something, I see it, right there it is. So what's the government give me?
Well, the government gives you everything. It protects you.
Well, what from?
Invasion? Foreigners coming in taking everything we got?
Well, I don't think that they're gonna do that.
They would if you didn't pay your income tax. How do you think the government keeps up with the army? All those battleships.
The last time that we used battleships was in the Spanish-American War. And what did we get from that? Cuba. And we just gave it right on back. I wouldn't mind paying if it were for something sensible.
Sensible? What about the Congress, the Supreme Court, and the President? You gotta pay them too, don't we?
Not with my money, no sir.
Now, wait a minute. I am not here to argue with you. All I know is you haven't paid income tax and you've gotta pay it.
Well, they've got to show me.
You don't gotta show you, I just told you. What about this? All the buildings down in Washington, and interstate commerce, and the Constitution.
Well, I think that the Constitution has been paid for a long time. And interstate commerce? What even is interstate commerce anyhow?
There are 48 states. See, interstate commerce, nothing's going between them. See?
Well, why not? They got fences.
They don't got fences, they got laws. My God, never seen anything this bad before.
Well, I'll pay you about $75, but that's all it's worth.
Now wait a minute, you'll pay every cent of it, like everybody else.
Hey, Essie, check out this.
And let me tell you something. You go to jail, do you hear that? That's the law. If you think you're better than the law, you're not. You're no better than anybody else. The sooner you can get through your head, the better. You're the United States government. That's all I can say.
Oh, let's make something like that.
What was that?
Hi, Ed.
How'd that sound to you folks?
I liked it.
My goodness. He was mad, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, but it's not his fault, Penny. It's just that the whole thing is so silly.
Oh, I forgot his hat.
So what size is that hat?
7 1/8.
Oh, it's perfect for me. Even here.
Who was that fellow anyway?
Oh, this must be Mr. Curry.
Better make sure.
Oh, yes, hello, gang.
Good evening.
Is this Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.?
Yes.
Oh, well, come right in, Mr. Kirby. We've been expecting you. Come right in. This is the real Mr. Kirby. I'm Alice's mother, and that's Mr. Sycamore and Essie, Alice's sister, and Essie's husband, Ed, and Grandpa. There. Now you know all of us. Now, give me your hat and make yourself right at home.
Thank you.
I'm important. I hope I'm not giving you folks from dinner.
Oh, no. Love and tomatoes.
No, thank you.
How about a piece of candy?
No, thanks.
Oh, I forgot to introduce Mr. DePina. Mr. Kirby, this is Mr. DePina.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Say, didn't you read about your father in the newspaper this morning? Didn't he get indicted or something?
Hardly that. He testified before the Securities Commission.
Oh.
Yes, of course, I In fact, Alice has often told us what a lovely man your father is.
Well, I know Father couldn't get along without Alice. She knows more about the business than any of us.
You're awful young to be vice president of a big place like that, aren't you, Mr. Kirby?
Well, you know what that means, vice president. All I have is a desk with my name on it.
Is that all? Don't you get any salary?
Well, a little. More than I'm worth, I'm afraid.
Oh, now you're just being honest.
It sounds kind of dull to me, Wall Street. You like it?
Well, the hours are short, and I haven't been there very long.
Oh, I suppose you're just out of college, huh?
Well, I knocked around for a while. Just sort of had fun.
Well, what'd you do? You traveled?
For a while. Then I went to Cambridge for a year.
England?
That's right.
Say, what's an English commencement like?
Oh, very impressive.
They are, huh?
Anywho, now the fun's over. I'm facing the world.
Well, you've certainly got a good start, Mr. Kirby. Vice president and a rich father, too.
That's hardly my fault.
Well, now I suppose you're all ready to settle down and get married.
Now, Hetty, I'm sure Mr. Kirby knows his own mind very well.
Oh, now I wasn't making up his mind for him, was I, Mr. Kirby?
It's all right, Mrs. Sycamore.
You see, Mother, you mustn't rush him. Well, all I was saying is he's bound to get married soon, and suppose the wrong girl gets him.
Well, here I am, vision in blue. It seems that you've all had a little time to get acquainted.
Yes, we were just having a delightful conversation about love and marriage.
Oh, dear Tony, I'm so sorry. I came down as quick as I could.
I didn't mind in the least.
There goes light in that kitchen. Oh, Alice, you look beautiful. Where are you going to?
We're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet.
Oh, that must be Mr. Kalenko.
Here we go. You're going.
All right.
A robot.
Well, that's like all right.
Grandpa, I got a letter from Russia. Yes, the second fighter plan is a failure.
Congratulations, Mr. Kalenko.
Good job.
If you will excuse us, Mr. Klenkoff, we are headed out tonight.
My little Alice, never have I seen you look so magnificent.
Why, thank you, Mr. Klenkoff. Mr. Klenkoff, this is Mr. Kirby, Mr. Kirby, Mr. Klenkoff, and the dancing teacher.
How do you do?
Very good, how about you?
And now, if you really will excuse us, we're headed out tonight to the Monte Carlo Ballet.
You say the Monte Carlo Ballet? Yeah, well, it stinks.
Oh dear, well, we best be going. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Tony, Tony.
Stupid Monte Carlo Ballet.
Oh, isn't Mr. Kirby lovely? Come on, dinner's ready, everyone.
Yes, so good looking.
And he had such nice manners. Did you notice, Paul? Did you notice his manners?
I certainly did. You were getting quite personal with him.
Oh, now, Paul.
He looked like a cousin of mine. He looked like a good fellow. And then he went to the ballet.
I think that if they get married here, I'll put the altar right where the snakes are. You wouldn't mind, would you, Grandpa?
Oh, no, not as a snake, though.
No, they'll want to get married in the church with his family and everything.
Good course.
All right, quiet down. Well, sir, we've been getting along pretty well for a while now, and of course we're very much obliged. Remember, all we want to do is to keep sort of happy in our own kind of way. Of course, we'd like to keep our health. But as far as everything else is concerned, we will leave it up to you. Thank you.
Of course I want to get married here.
Wait till the dragon certified you.
course, just walking inside of here gives me a thrill.
Why, Tony, it's been so lovely. I hate to have it over.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Well, not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Very well, then. Would you care for a cold drink?
Wonderful.
Care to follow me into the kitchen?
I follow you to the ends of the earth.
Oh, the kitchen is just far enough.
I like it. You've done it very simply, haven't you?
Well, yes. You didn't know whether to do Empire or New Grecian.
So you settled for Frigidaire.
I guess. It's so easy to live with. Well, Mr. Kirby, I'm glad you're not hungry, because all we've got are cornflakes in that icebox. That's got to give you a sense of the Sycamore family, doesn't it?
It's all over my coat.
I'll take mine in a glass if you don't mind.
Here you are. A foaming beaker.
Why, it's cold.
Now, I'd like to offer a toast. Miss Sycamore, to you.
Why, thank you, Mr. Kirby. To you.
You know something?
What?
I wouldn't trade 1 minute of this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Why? Is there much rice in China?
Terrific. Haven't you ever read The Gooder? Well, darling, I suppose I ought to go.
Is it very late?
Very.
But Tony, I don't want you to go.
I don't want to either.
Well then,
When do you take your vacation?
last 2 weeks in August.
I might take mine then, too.
Really?
Have you given much thought to what you're going to do?
Oh no, I haven't.
Going away, do you think?
Why not? I quite like the city in the summertime.
I do, too.
But you always go up to Maine this time of year, don't you, Mr. Kirby?
That's right, but I'm sure I'd like the city in the summertime. Oh, you know what I mean, Alice. I'd like it if you were here.
Well, Mr. Kirby, I'd like it if you were here too.
You know what you're saying, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend your summer with me than anybody else in the world.
Am I?
Well, it's true about the summer. Then how about the winter?
I might feel the same.
Well, there's spring and autumn. If you can see your way clear about those, Miss Sycamore.
I may.
Well, that's the whole year. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
No, I don't think we have.
Well then.
Is that you, Alice? What time is it? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Kirby. I had no idea. I didn't mean to interrupt anything. Oh, Mother. I just came down from the plane and I'll be right out of your way. Oh, here it is. Sex takes a holiday. Well, good night, Tony.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
I think you can call me Penny, don't you, Alice? At least I hope so.
What's that?
Oh, that's just bottom and cellar.
This time of night?
This time of night, any time of night, any time of day, really.
You know, you're more lovely, more beautiful, more adorable than anybody else in the world.
Don't, Tony.
What? Just because your mother... All mothers are like that. Penny's a darling. You see, I'm even calling her Penny.
No, Tony, it's not like that. You see, there is something I should have told you a long time ago, Tony, but you swept me away, and I let myself get carried away with all of this. But the truth is, Tony, I let myself get carried away because I loved you so.
Darling.
Oh, but please, Tony, the truth is, your family and mine, it just wouldn't work, Tony. They are of the two entirely different worlds. I don't mean money or socially. That would be far, far too silly. But Tony, your family and mine, it just wouldn't work, Tony.
All right, have it your way. She can't dance. Pay her all that money, but she can't dance.
Well, I'd hardly call it dancing, what she does. Oh, hello there. How was the ballet? It was fine. Let's see.
Wonderful.
Look, what do you people think? You just saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you think she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
Well, yes, I always thought so.
What does she do anyhow? Now look, you're Fred Astaire and I'm Ginger Rogers.
Please, stop, Essie.
Oh, I'm only gonna use it for a minute.
Please,
wedding.
Oh, they've been together all night.
Come on, Essie.
Good night, Mr. Kirby. Good night, Alice.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Wait, Essie, did you ask Grandpa about us having a baby?
Oh, yes, he said, go right ahead. Now, Tony, now, do you see what I mean?
I didn't mind that anyhow. It's not like we're going to live with your family. It's just you and I.
No, Tony, it's never just you and I. Tony, I love my family. I love them deeply. And I know they do rather strange things, but I don't know, Tony, they're gay and they're fun. Oh, Tony, there's still a sort of strange nobility to it all.
Darling, you talk as though only you could understand them. That's not true. My father raises orchids at $10,000 a bulb. Is that sensible? My mother believes in spiritualism. That's just as bad as your mother writing plays.
No, Tony, it's not. Your mother believes in spiritualism because it's fashionable. And your father raises orchids because he can afford to do so. But my mother, well, Tony, my mother writes plays because 8 years ago, a typewriter was delivered here by mistake.
Darling, what of it?
And look at Grandpa. He was in business, but then 35 years ago, he just up and quit. Went into work one day and came right back home. Said it took far too much time. He could have been a rich man, but now look at him. He spends his days going to circuses and commencements and collecting stamps. It just never occurs to anyone. It just never occurs.
Oh, well, hello there, children.
Hello, Grandpa.
Good evening, Mr. Vanderhoff.
How's the weather? Seems like a lovely summer evening to me.
It's fine, Grandpa.
Well, I'm off. Goodbye, Mr. Kirby. I've got a date with the policeman on the corner.
Policeman?
Oh, yes. We've got a standing date. 12:30 every night. I've known him since he was a little boy. You know, he's really a doctor. But after he graduated, he came to me and said that he didn't want to be a doctor. He had always wanted to be a policeman. So I told him, you go ahead and be a policeman if that's what you really want to do. And that's just what he did. Say, how do you like my new hat?
It's very nice, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Yeah, I like it. The government gave it to me.
Could you explain any of this to your father, Tony? Because the truth is, Tony, you can't. You couldn't explain Grandpa. You couldn't explain Ed and Essie. You couldn't explain the snakes or the rats. You couldn't explain any of it. I love you, Tony. But I love them, too.
There's only one thing you said that matters. That makes any sense. You love me.
But Tony, I know so well.
Darling, don't you think other people have had the same problem? Everybody's got a family.
But not like mine.
That doesn't stop people who love each other. Darling, won't you go on loving me and forget everything else?
How can I?
Because nothing can keep us apart. You know that. You must know that. They want you to be happy. They must.
Of course they want me to be happy, Tony, but they can't change, and frankly, I don't want them to change.
They're perfectly lovely people as they are. They wouldn't have to change. Everything will work out. You're worrying about something that may never come up.
Oh, Tony, am I?
All that matters right now is that we love each other. That's so, isn't it?
Yes.
Well then.
Oh, Tony.
Now I'd like to see a little gay around here, young men calling, getting engaged and all.
Oh, Tony. What do I say?
Well, first, you thank the young man for getting engaged to you.
Why, thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then you tell him what it was that first took your girlish heart.
The back of your head. It wasn't your charm, or your wits, or your money. Gosh, it was just the back of your head, Tony. Why? I just liked it.
What happened when I turned around?
Oh, I got used to it.
We're pretty lucky.
I know that I'm lucky. Why? I'm the luckiest girl in the whole wide world.
I'm not so unlucky myself. Good night, darling. Till tomorrow.
Good night, Tommy. Oh, don't forget your hat, dear.
Isn't it lucky we work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd be hanging around here all day.
But won't it be strange going into the office tomorrow and pretending that none of this had happened?
Thank God I'm vice president. I can dictate to you all day. Dear Miss Sycamore, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Oh, darling, I'm such a fool.
Before you go up to the office in the morning, go down to the drugstore. I have a million things to say to you.
All right.
And then lunch, and then dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, Tony, what will people say?
It's gotta come out sometime. In fact, if you know a good rooftop, I'd like to do a little shouting.
Oh, Tony.
Yes, sir, Mr. DePina. We did a good night's work.
Oh yeah, what was that? 500 willow trees, couple hundred Black Panthers, and a lot of dozen junior kitty bombers. That's a new record! Woo-ha!
That's right. Oh, well, hello, Alice. Just come in.
No, Father. I've been home for quite some time.
Have a nice evening.
I had a lovely evening, Father.
Say, I'd like you to take a look at this new red fire I made. Will you shut out the lights, Mr. DePina? I want Alice to get the full effect.
Oh,
Yeah.
what were you saying, Father?
The red fire, it's beautiful.
Oh, my goodness, Father, yes, it is beautiful. Why, it's the most beautiful red fire in the whole wide world.
I said to him, you can take your old job.
I'm ready to read you the new play, Miss Wellington, anytime you are.
Just a minute, dearie. Just a minute.
The only thing is, I hope you won't mind my asking this, but you don't drink while you're acting, do you, Miss Wellington? I'm just asking, of course.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up. Once the stage door opens, the bottle gets put away. Until intermission. You've been on the stage a long time, Miss Wellington. All my life. Ever seen Peg in My Heart? Oh, yes, I have. I did too. Fine show. All right. Good night, Janet.
Yes, well, whenever you're ready, we'll go up to my room and start. I thought we'd read the play in my room.
Yes, of course, dearie. When I see snakes, it's time to lie down.
Oh, dear! Miss Wellington, those are real your grandpa's! Oh, dear! Miss Wellington!
She's out like a light.
Do you think she'll be all right?
Oh, yes, but I wouldn't cast her in a religious play.
Well, I suppose I'll just have to wait. Oh,
And the next time you meet an actress on the top of a bus, Penny, I think I'd send her the play instead of bringing her home to read it.
And I wish you'd stop printing and take out those love dreams. You have to be back in time for Kalenkov to come.
Oh, is Kalenkov coming tonight?
Yes, tomorrow night's his night, but I had to change it on account of Alice.
Oh, big doings around here tomorrow night, eh?
isn't it exciting? I'm so nervous you'd think it was me he was engaged to instead of Alice.
What do you think he'll be like? His mother and father. And what are you doing now?
Hey, Penny, you see a new mask? Guess who it is?
Don't tell me now, Ed. Wait a minute.
about these Madonnas that you can make so many different things with them. Last week, it was the Empire State Building.
What is it this week?
Queen Mary.
Hasn't got the right hat on.
Mr. Pino, did you go outside and see that man standing outside the house?
Why? What for?
A man that's been following you the last few times he's been out delivering candy.
Hey, you're crazy.
No, I'm not. It happens every time I go to deliver candy.
I'll go see.
I really don't see what anybody would follow you for, Ed.
I don't know, Grandpa. There's a lot of kidnapping going on these days.
Yes, but not of Ed.
Well, did you see anything?
There was nobody out there at all.
You sure?
Positive. I just saw him walk away.
Well, that could have been anyone walking along the street, Ed. Now hurry up and get back.
All right.
Say, Mr. Sigmore, it's about time we pack up the fireworks and take one to Mount Vernon.
Yeah, we got there by 11 o'clock, so let's get to it.
Father said it was 9.
No, we'll have to leave at 9 o'clock.
Just 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Oh, goodness. Mother, may I borrow a piece of paper? I'm making a list for Essie for tomorrow night.
Yes, dear. Here's some.
My. What happened to your actress friend? Is she giving a performance?
No, she's not acting, Alice. She's really drunk.
Oh dear. Well, Essie is going to need all day in that kitchen tomorrow to prepare. I'm going to be home around 3 o'clock tomorrow to get everything ready, Mother. So you'll have everything down to the cellar by then. By means of your typewriter and Groucho and Harpo and snakes, the designer for the printing press,
And Miss Wellington.
and Miss Wellington. That'll give me enough time to fix the table and arrange the box.
The Kirby's are gonna get the wrong impression of this house.
You will do all of that, won't you, Mother?
Of course, dear.
Goodness, I think it's best if we have cocktails ready by 7:15, just in case they happen to arrive a little bit early. And goodness, I wonder if we ought to let Essie cook that dinner after all. What do you think, Grandpa?
From what I've seen of the boy, I'm sure the Kirby's are very nice people. It's alright if things aren't so elaborate tomorrow night after all.
Oh, I'm not trying to present anything to them, Grandpa. Pretend that we're anything we're not. I just want everything tomorrow night to go well.
There's no reason why it shouldn't now.
We're all going to do everything we can to make it a nice party.
Oh, my darlings, I love you. You're the most wonderful family in the whole wide world. Gosh, I'm the luckiest girl in the whole wide world. I'm the happiest. Gosh, I didn't know anyone could even be this happy. Oh, even just seeing him. Oh, Grandpa, you don't know what it does to me.
Just seeing him, huh? Just seeing him for lunch and dinner, and until 4 o'clock in the morning, and then 9 o'clock the next morning, you're back at the office, and there he is again. Just seeing him, huh?
Oh, I don't care, Grandpa. I'm in love.
Nice, isn't it? Nice to see her so happy.
Yes. Oh, I remember when I was engaged to Paul. How happy I was. And, you know, I still feel that way.
I know. It's nice the way that Ed and Essie get along.
Do you suppose Mr. DePino will ever marry anyone, Grandpa?
Well, there's Miss Wellington.
Oh, dear, I wish you'd wake up. If we're going to read the play
Miss Seymour! Miss Seymour! Look what I found!
Oh, Lord. My painting of you as a discus thrower. Look, Grandpa.
Well, I remember it. Hey, you've gotten a bit bald, haven't you, Mr. DePina?
No, I don't think so. There's still some right here.
Well, it was a long time ago. Just before I stopped painting. Let me see. That's 8 years.
I think we need some tape.
All right, Mr. DePino, you don't need to put it up.
But it looks good.
Well, anyway, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I really wish you would have finished that painting.
You know, I always meant to finish it, Mr. DePina, but I started And that was that. I never painted again.
Just as well, too. I was gonna have to strip next.
Who would have thought that the day I came to deliver ice, that I would stay here for 8 years?
Milkman was ahead of you. 5 years.
Say, why did he leave again?
Well, he didn't leave. He died.
Oh,
He was such a nice man. Remember the funeral, Grandpa? We never knew his name, and it was kind of hard to get him a certificate.
What was the name that we finally made up for him?
Martin Vanderhoff, we gave him your name.
Oh, yes, I remember.
It was really a lovely thought, because otherwise he never would have gotten all those flowers.
Well, it certainly was. Didn't bother me any. Never troubled with mail anymore. I haven't received a telephone call from that day to this.
Yes, it was really a wonderful idea.
say, Miss Seymour, I really wish you finished that painting. I'd kind of like to have it.
You know what, Mr. Capina? I think I'll do some work on it right tonight.
Really? You don't say!
Yes, I don't think she's going to wake up anyhow. Blah. Look, Mr. Pina, why don't you go down in the cellar and put on your costume? I'll go get the easel.
Yeah, move it!
Oh, hello, Mr.
Madam
Palenko.
Seymour.
Estie's in the kitchen.
What is that?
Oh, it's a portrait of Mr. DePina. Penny painted it.
It stinks.
No. What do you think of that?
Oh my God, what is that?
Oh, well, she's an actress. Friend of Penny's. She is quite drunk after all.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, how are you doing, Palenko?
I am magnificent. Life is chasing around inside me like a squirrel.
Oh, it is, huh? What's new in Russia? Have you heard anything from your friend in
have.
Moscow?
They have sent them to Siberia. I saved you the letter.
Oh, thanks, Palenko.
Yes, but they sent it to Moscow and now he has escaped. You know what? That Soviet government. I could take the whole Soviet government and... Ah!
Certainly, Mr. Palenko. I'll go get my dancing clothes right away.
That will really work. We're going to take something new.
Say, is Essie making any progress, Palenko?
Confidentially, she stinks.
Well, as long as she's having fun. You know, the government really ought to stop sending me these letters. They want me to be at the United States Marshal's office at 12 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. Take a look at that.
Ah, you see, Grandpa. Income tax. I got you there.
Oh, yeah. They want me to pay a lot of money to keep people on relief.
We should have been in Russia when the revolution came. People would have stood in line, a red line. Yeah, what they've done to Russia. The Grand Duchess, Olga Katrina, the cousin of the Tsar, she's a waitress at George's restaurant in Times Square. I ordered baked beans from her only yesterday. Broke my heart. Crazy world we live in, huh, Grandpa?
Well, the world's not so crazy, Kalenko. It's the people in it. Life is pretty simple if you just relax.
And how can you relax in times like these?
Well, if people would relax, there wouldn't be times like these. Just my point. The trouble is, people forget that. I know that I did. I was right in the thick of it, too. Fighting, scratching, clawing, regular jungle. And then one day I woke up and just realized that I wasn't having any fun.
So you did what?
I just relaxed. 35 years ago today that was, and I have been a happy man ever since.
Sounds good.
Good evening, Mr. Kalenko.
Ah, Alice. I've not seen you to present my congratulations. May you be very happy and have many children.
Oh, that is quite a thought, Mr. Kalenko. Good night.
Ah, love. Love is all that is left in the world, dear Grandpa.
Oh yes, but there is plenty of that.
And soon Stalin will take that away too.
Oh, seems so nice to go to my
Paris, Madame Sycamore.
Mr. Kalenka.
It happened again. The man followed me everywhere I went when I was living here.
Nonsense, Ed. It's all imagination.
No, it's not. Every time I go to Liverpool, he follows me.
Well, maybe he wants a piece of candy, Ed.
He's for you to take, Grandpa, but he keeps following me.
You do not know what following is. In Russia, everybody is followed. I was followed right out of Russia.
Of course. You see, Ed, the whole thing is just imagination.
Really?
Oh, here we are.
Where do you want me?
Right there, fine.
Okay.
Hey, for tonight's lesson, you will practice the first movement of the Scheherazade.
Mr. DePina, has something happened to your figure over these 8 years?
But I don't think so.
Yes, Miss Watson, yes? Whoa! Oh, dear. Sorry, Mr. Kalenka. I couldn't find my dancing slippers.
We have a hard night for tonight, my Pavlova, but art is only achieved through perspiration.
Why, Mr. Kalenka, that's wonderful. Did you hear that, Grandpa? Art is only achieved through perspiration.
Yes, but it helps if you've got a bit of talent with it.
You are ready? We begin. Now, pirouette. Pirouette, my son. Come now, this is 8 years. Surely you can do this. At last. Now, onto a shot. Onto a shot. No, Grandpa, you cannot relax in times like these. You start relaxing. What happened to him?
Only was too late.
Mr. Kalenka!
No. You see, you can't relax at all, Grandpa.
Mr. Kalenka!
I'm sorry. We go back to the pirouette.
Could you pull in your stomach, Mr. Tan? Yes, that's right.
A little clearer with your hands. Your body works to achieve art. Hey, help us with the music.
Well, how do you do?
How do you do?
Are we too early? Don't bother. We're really not hungry at all.
Oh, but it's no bother at all, Mrs. Kirby. Run down to the A&P and buy half a dozen bottles of beer and some canned salmon. Do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Please don't bother. I have a little indigestion.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about you, Mrs. Kirby? Do you like canned salmon?
Oh, I'm very fond of it.
Or you can have frankfurters if you'd rather.
Either one will do.
All right, we'll make it frankfurters and some canned salmon and Campbell's soup. Got that, Ed? Hey, hurry! There, it's just a corner. Frankfurters don't take any time, Boyle.
Oh, allow me to introduce Paul, Mr. Sycamore, Alice's father.
I hope you don't forget my appearance and sudden intrusion.
Well, this is Mr. Sycamore's busiest time of the year, just before the 4th of July.
Darling, I'm the most dull-witted person in the world. I thought it was tonight.
Why, Tony, I thought, have you all had time to get acquainted?
Yes, indeed.
How do you do, Alice?
How do you do, Mrs. Kirby? I'm afraid that I'm not very presentable.
Darling, you look lovely.
Of course she does. We've only met each other. We only met each other a night sooner, that's all.
Of course.
Yes. I was planning such a nice party for tomorrow night.
Well, we'll come tomorrow then.
There you are, darling. Am I forgiven?
Oh, well, I guess so. It seems that we should get all of you some dinner.
Oh, no! That's all been attended to, Alice. That's all done.
What did we send out for? Because Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion and can only eat certain food.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
Of course it's all right.
Alice, I asked her what he wanted.
But Mother!
Hey, it's no big deal just because I have a little indigestion.
Perhaps it is not indigestion at all, Mr. Kirk. Perhaps it is stomachals.
Oh, don't be absurd, Mr. Kalenka.
Mr. Kirby, you mustn't mind Mr. Kolekov. He's a Russian, and Russians are always inclined to look on the dark side.
Really?
All right. I am a Russian. But a friend of mine, a
He died from stomach ulcers.
Mr. Kalikov, Mr. Kirby just suffers from a little bit of indigestion. That's all.
Fine, let him wait.
Say, how do you find business conditions, Mr. Kirby?
Well, I mean, it all depends, of course.
Well, I suppose we're pretty well out of the pressure. We're going to keep on improving.
Broadly speaking, yes. In fact, industry increased by 64% since 1925.
But when we come ready from feeling, had a remarkable feeling.
Well, that might seem a little strange to you people, but she's quite accountable for her actions. She's a friend of Penny's. She came in earlier and was overcome by the heat.
Yes, it affects some people more than others. But I think you just check on her. Excuse me, please.
Oh, please, Mother. Yes, oh, goodness, it is awfully hot. Mrs. Kirby, you usually escape all of this hot weather up in Maine, don't you?
As a rule, yes. But I had to come down this week, however, for the flower show.
Mother wouldn't miss that show for the world. That blue ribbon is the high spot of her year.
I won a ribbon at a flower show once for raising onions. Remember us? That was a garden show, I see. Oh, yes. I think she'll be all right now.
Come on, can I get this?
Hello, what's that? I didn't know there was little children in the house.
Oh, no, that's mine.
Well, I suppose every man has a hobby. Do you use this as a model of some kind?
No, I just play with it.
Oh, I see.
Maybe you'd be better off if you had a hobby like that.
Yes,
Instead of raising orchids.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, yes, please do tell us all about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. Did you all know that they sometimes take up to 6 years to blossom? Why, 6 years? But think of that!
That is true, but some of them take longer than that. I've got one I've been waiting 10 years for.
Believe it or not, I was waiting for an orchid once.
Of course, during that time, they take the most intensive of care. I remember a ball I was there to find them.
Oh, why, and here we are. Did you get everything?
Yeah, only they didn't have frankfurters at the store. So I got pickled pig's feet.
Oh, well, Kirby, please do tell us all about the orchid world you find yourself in. And, well, excuse me.
See, that's quite an expensive hobby, isn't it, Mr. Kirby? Raising orchids.
Yes, it is, but I feel as if a hobby brings one significant pleasure, it's never too expensive.
Oh, yes, that is very true.
You see, I need something to relieve the daily nerve strain. After a week of Wall Street, I'll go crazy. Some men I know have the odds for that very reason.
Why don't they just quit Wall Street?
What's that?
Well, I was just joking.
I believe everyone should have a hobby. Of course, to me, it's more than a hobby. My great solace is spiritualism.
Spiritualism? Why, Mrs. Kirby, everyone knows that's rubbish.
To me, spiritualism is, well, I would rather not talk about it.
Remember, Penny, you had a few hobbies when you were young.
Yes, but not silly ones.
Well, I don't think it matters what the hobby is. The important thing is just to have one.
No, folks. The big idea of a hobby should improve the body as well as the mind. The Romans were great people, and what was their hobby? It was wrestling. In wrestling, you have to think quick with your mind and act quick with your body.
You see, wrestling would be useful to the most of us. Personally, I want to make a very good showing as a wrestler.
Are you sure about that, Mr. Kirby? Go for it. Are you alright?
Are you hurt?
Where's my glasses?
Oh, here they are, Mr. Kirby. Oh, Mr. Kirby, they're broken.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kirby, but when you wrestle, you will not wear glasses.
I intend to wrestle again, Mr. Klingon.
Better sit down, Father.
It's all right. It's all right.
Of course it's all right, darling. Why not go?
Well, that was exciting for a minute, wasn't it?
Say, you were talking about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. Do you raise many different varieties?
I'm afraid I quite forgot about my orchids.
I really am awfully sorry, Mr. Kirby.
What did I do that was so terrible? All I did was throw him to the ground. Didn't kill him.
Oh, please, Mr. Kalinko, stop! Would you like a piece of candy while you're waiting, Mr. Kirby? I've got some freshly made.
My doctor does not permit me to eat any candy.
But these are nothing, Mr. Kirby. Just coconut and marshmallow and fudge. Oh, please stop, Mother. Well.
Oh, goodness, your dinner will be ready soon. Oh, goodness. What is it, Tessie? Yes, we'll make some more. No, we'll then sit and out for some more. Oh, tell him to hurry. Oh, goodness, tell him to hurry. Oh, there has just been a slight delay in dinner. I am sure everything will be all ready in just a moment.
I've certainly put you people through a lot of trouble with my stupidity.
Oh, no, not at all, Tony.
Look, why don't we all play a game of some sort while we're waiting?
No, that'd be fine.
But Mother, I really don't think Mr. and Mrs. Kirby want.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Kirby would love this game. It's perfectly harmless.
I'm not very good at games, Mrs. Sycamore.
But any fool could play this game, Mr. Kirby. All you do is write your name on a piece of paper.
Goodness, what even is this game, Mother?
I used to play it when I was at school. Here you are, Tony. It's called Forget Me Not. Now, I'm going to call out 5 words. Just anything at all. And as I say each word, you're to put down the first thing that comes into your mind. Is that clear? So, for instance, if I were to call out grass, you might put down green. Just whatever you think you'll see. Or if I were to call out chair, you might put down table. It shows the reactions people have to different things. You see how simple it is, Mr. Kirby?
Come on, Father. Be a sport.
Well then, I'll be glad to play.
You see, Alice, he does want to play. Well, now then, are we ready?
Ready.
Remember, you must play fair. Put down the first word that comes into your mind.
I understand.
All right. The first word is potatoes. Po-tay-toes. Ready for the next one? Bathroom. Mother. Bathroom. Got that? All right. The next word is lust. This is not exactly what I thought. Nonsense, Alice. That word's all right. No, Mother, it is not all right.
Oh, I think it's a perfectly fair word.
You see, Alice? Now, you must stop interrupting the game.
Could I get the last word again, please?
Lust, Mr. Kirby.
Got it.
This is quite a game, isn't it?
Grandpa. The next word is honeymoon. Mother. All right. And the last word is sex. Mother. Everybody got sex? All right, now hand me your papers. May I take your paper, Mr. Kirby?
I see, it's a rather interesting game.
I knew you'd like it. Now comes the most interesting part. I read out your reaction. I'll read out your reaction first, Mr. Kirby. Listen up, everyone. This is Mr. Kirby. Potatoes? Stink. Why, that's very good, Mr. Kirby. You see how they go together? Steak and potatoes.
I just happened to think of it.
Really, very good. Bathroom? Toothpaste. Why? Lust? Unlawful? Isn't that nice? Honeymoon? Trip. Of course. And sex? Male. Why, yes, you are, aren't you? That's really a very good paper, Mr. Kirby.
I see. It's much more than a game. It's an experiment in psychology, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. It shows you just how your mind works. Now, we'll see how Mrs. Kirby's mind works. Ready, everyone? This is Mrs. Kirby. Potatoes. Starch. Why, I know just what you mean, Mrs. Kirby. Oh, dear. Bathroom. Mr. Kirby.
What's that?
Bathroom. Mr. Kirby.
I don't quite follow that, my dear.
Well, it's just that you're in there such a great deal, bathing and shaving. Well, you take a long time.
Indeed, I never thought of how selfish I was being. Will you go on, Mrs. Sycamore?
No, please, Mr. Kirby. This is an awfully silly game. I think we ought to stop it right now.
Yes.
No. Will you go on, Mrs. Sycamore?
Where was I? Oh, yes. Honeymoon. No, that's the next word. Lust. Human.
Really, Laverne?
What I meant was that lust is, after all, a human emotion.
I don't agree with you. Lust is not a human emotion. It is disgusting.
Very well, Anthony, I'm wrong.
This is really an awfully silly game, Mr. and Mrs. Kirby. Suppose we play 20 questions while we wait for dinner?
Yes.
Oh,
Will you go on, Mrs. Sycamore? What was the next word?
Honeymoon.
And what was her response?
Honeymoon. Boring.
Did you say boring?
What I meant was that Hot Springs was not very gay that season. All those old people sitting on the porch and nothing to do at night.
That was not your reaction at the time, as I recall it.
It's only a game.
A very illuminating game. Will you go on, Mrs. Sycamore?
Oh, this next word's all right, Mr. Kirby. Sex. Wall Street.
Wall Street? What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
Well, you must have meant something, or you wouldn't have put it down.
It was just the first thing that came into my head.
But what does it mean? Sex Wall Street?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that you're always going on and on and on about Wall Street, even when... I don't know what I meant. Alice, would you mind terribly if we didn't stay for dinner? I have a terrible headache.
no, Mrs. Kirby, I understand.
Actually, we better postpone this whole dinner for a little while.
Oh, but do come tomorrow night, Mr. Kirby.
We have an engagement tomorrow night.
Actually, we better postpone this whole affair for a little while. The hot weather,
I think we're being very ungracious, Father. We'll stay to dinner. Tonight.
Tony, I have a very bad headache.
Come, Tony. I'm sure they understand.
Well, I don't understand. I think we ought to stay tonight.
No, Tony.
What?
Tony, we were fools to think that any of this would ever work. It won't. Mr. Kirby, I won't be in the office tomorrow. In fact, I won't be in the office at all anymore.
Alice, darling, what are you saying?
Oh, I'm very sorry, my dear. Are you ready, Laverne?
Yes, Anthony.
Darling, you mustn't mind this.
It was very nice to meet you all.
Yes, lovely.
Are you coming, Tony?
No, Father, I'm not.
I see. Me and your mother will be waiting for you at home. Good night.
Good night.
Everybody stay right where you are. Keep your mouth shut, you. Which one is it?
This is him.
What are you doing?
Oh, goodness, what is this? What's this all about?
What's going on?
Shut up. What's your name?
Edward Carmichael. I didn't do anything.
This seems rather high-handed to me, officer. What's it all about?
Department of Justice.
Oh, my goodness. J-Man, what have you done?
I didn't do anything.
What's the boy done, officer?
Oh, what is this? What is this all about? That door leads to the cellar?
Yes, it does.
Matt? Jim? Yes, sir. Go check upstairs and see what you can find. Okay.
Chief. There's enough gunpowder down there to blow up the whole city.
Oh, boy, only you.
All right, everyone here is under arrest. Everyone shut up!
Young lady.
Stop that! Who's that?
For appearance in the West Side Court this morning. After spending the night in jail, the defendants, 13 in all, were brought before Judge Callahan and given suspended sentences for manufacturing fireworks without a permit.
I was in the same cell as a stripteaser from a burlesque show.
I was in the same cell as Mr. Kirby. He was mad.
This is Kirby and the striptease were fighting all night.
Hold on, Mr. Kirby here. Anthony W. Kirby, head of Kirby & Company, 62 Wall Street, who was among those apprehended, declared he was in no way interested in the manufacture of fireworks, but refused to state why he was on the premise at the time of the raid. Mr. Kirby is a member of the Union Club, the Racket Club, the Harvard Club, National Geographic Society. I He certainly is a joiner.
All those rich men are elves or something.
Well, I suppose Alice ain't marrying Tony now.
Does she too? Alice sure loves that Tony.
Where's she going anyways?
The mountains or someplace. And she's going all right, no matter what anybody says. I know Alice when she gets that look in her eye.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Sure is.
There's not even a balloon left down there.
How's your hand, Mr. DePina?
It's all better. Say, is there still olive oil in the kitchen?
Yes, it's in the salad bowl.
Thank you.
Well, she's going all right. Will she think anyone said to change her?
Will she be gone long, Mother?
I don't know, Essie. She wouldn't say.
How do you feel, Penny?
I don't know. I'm all right. Just kind of upset. Perhaps if I do some work, I'll feel better.
Well, I'll leave you be then.
She's going now, Penny.
Yes.
Now, Penny.
I can't help it, Dawson. It's our fault.
It's my fault more than yours. All these years, on myself. When maybe I should have just been thinking more about Alice.
Don't say that, Paul. You've been a wonderful father. And husband, too.
No, I haven't. Maybe if I'd gone ahead and been someone like, I don't know, architect, something else could have at least been proud of. I really felt all that last night, looking at Mr. Kirby.
But we've been so happy, Paul.
I know, but maybe that's not enough. I used to think so, but I'm all mixed up now.
What time is she going?
Pretty soon. Train leaves 7:30.
If only she'd see Tony, I'm sure he could persuade her.
It won't help. Tony's been trying to talk to Alice all day now.
Where is he now?
I'm not sure. He's probably walking around the corner again, but she won't talk to him.
Well, perhaps he can catch her as she's leaving.
It won't help, Eddie.
No, I suppose not. Oh, I feel so sorry for Tony, too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Grandpa?
Oh, now, Penny, let the girl alone.
Oh, but Grandpa.
I suppose she goes to the Adirondacks. She'll be back. You can take just so much Adirondacks, and then you have to come home.
It's all so terrible, Grandpa.
Oh, yes, but it has its bright side, too.
How do you mean?
Well, Mr. Kirby being loaded into the patrol wagon for one thing, and then the look on his face when he and Ed had to take a bath together. Oh, I'll never forget that if I live to be 100. I'll warn you people I intend to. If I can have things like that going on.
It's even worse with Mrs. Kirby. When the matron stripped her, there was this strip teacher in the same cell as us, and she kept singing a strip song while Mrs. Kirby tried to undress.
Well, I'll picture that the Kirby's trip to Bar Harbor this summer is going to seem pretty dull.
Oh, goodness.
You need any help with that, Alice?
No, thank you, Grandpa.
I'll bring down the big bag when you're ready, Alice.
Thank you, Ed. Alice, dear.
Now, Penny.
Would you like some candy for the train, Alice? No, thank you, Essie. Really, Alice, you could be just as alone here as you could in the mountains. You could stay right in your room all day. No, I couldn't, Mother. I just need to get away from all of this for a little while. But I love you all. I love all of you dearly. I need you all to know that. But a little time away, gosh, well, it'll do us all a little good. And, well, goodness. Father, did you phone for that cat?
No. I didn't know you wanted one.
Oh, I told Mr. DePina to tell you. Paul, didn't he tell you?
Oh, he told me, but I forgot.
Oh, I wish I had learned a family that always forgot everything. God, I'm so sick of the watermelon for dinner and the bologna. I'm so sick of the cornflakes and the icebox. God, why can't this just be a place where you can bring your friends and ideas? Why can't we just be like a normal, simple family? Oh, why can't we be normal? Wow! I'm gonna see if I can do anything. Tony, she's in the kitchen. Talk to her.
Thanks. least let me talk to you.
Where'd they go?
Upstairs.
She walked out the second he came in.
You spilled olive oil all over my hands. I'm gonna smell a bit fishy now.
How are you doing, Mr. Peter? Is your hand still hurting you?
No, it's all better.
Everything burnt up, huh? Downstairs.
Everything, even my Roman costume.
See, Penny, I told you there's a bright side to everything. Everything except my 24 years back income tax. Get another letter every day.
Say, what are you gonna do about that, Grandpa?
Well, I had a bit of an idea about it yesterday. I'm not sure it's gonna work, but I'm trying it anyhow.
Ugh, what is it?
Good evening.
Why, Mr. Kalinkoff?
You will excuse my coming tonight? I understand you're upset.
Oh, that's quite all right, Mr. Kalinkoff.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kulenkoff. I don't think I can take a lesson today. I just don't feel up to it.
Well,
But do stay to dinner, Mr. Kalinkoff. We've got all that food out there. Well, someone's got to eat it.
I would be happy to, Madam Sycamore.
Fine.
Now, I wonder if I know you all well enough to ask you a great favor.
Of course, Mr. Kalinkoff. What is it?
You ever heard me talk about my friend, the Grand Duchess, Olga Katrina?
Yes.
She's a great woman, the Grand Duchess. Her cousin was the Tsar of Russia.
Well,
She's a waitress, and now she's a waitress in George's restaurant in Times Square. Grand Duchess has not had a good meal since before the revolution.
Why, she must be very hungry.
And today is not only her day off, Thursday, but it is also the anniversary of Peter the Great.
why? Mr. Kalinkoff, if you mean you'd like the Grand Duchess to come to dinner here, why, we'd be honored.
Then in the name of the Grand Duchess, I thank you.
Oh, I can hardly wait to meet her. Where is she now?
She's waiting outside. I will go get her.
Straighten your tie. I think you're dressed. How do you want to look, all right?
Well, I want to live to be 150 if things like this keep going on.
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. Your Highness, permit me to present Miss Grandpa,
Madam?
Mrs. Sycamore, and Mrs. Carmichael. Also, Mr. Carmichael, Mr. Sycamore, and Mr. DeVito.
All right, now, Mr. Peter.
Would you be seated, Your Highness?
Thank you. You are most kind.
We are honored to receive you, Your Highness.
I am most happy to be here. How soon is dinner?
It'll be quite soon, Your Highness. Very soon.
I do not mean to be rude, but I must be back at the restaurant by 8 o'clock. I'm substituting for another waitress.
I will make sure you are back to the restaurant on time, Your Highness.
Thank you, Kolenkov.
Say, Grand Duchess, did I wait on you in George's that one time? On 72nd Street place?
No, that was my sister.
The Grand Duchess Natasha.
I work in Times Square.
Oh,
Hey, quite a lot of your folks are living around here nowadays, aren't they?
Oh yes, many. My uncle, the Grand Duke Sergei, he is an elevator man at Macy's. A very nice man. Then there is my cousin, Prince Alexis. He will not speak to the rest of us because he works at Hattie Carnegie. He is in ladies' underwear.
when he was selling hot dogs at Coney Island, he would talk to you, wouldn't he?
Oh, Kolenko, what time is coming? My sister Natasha is studying to be a manicurist. Uncle Sergei there promised to make floor walker, and next month I will be transferred to the 5th Avenue Georges. From there, it is only a step to Straps. Then we will see what Prince Alexis says.
Well, I think you got him.
You are telling me?
Your Highness, did you know the Tsar? Personally, I mean?
But of course, he was my cousin. Terrible what happened, but perhaps it was for the best. Where could he get a job now?
That is true.
And poor relations are poor relations. It is the same in every family. My cousin, the King of Sweden, he was very nice to us for about 10 years. He would send a money order every once in a while. Then he said, I cannot go on. I am not doing so well myself. I do not blame him.
No, of course not. Would you excuse me for just a moment, Your Highness?
Hey, Grand Duchess, is it true about what they say about Rasputin?
Everyone wants to know about Rasputin.
everything. Yes, my dear sir, it is true.
Really?
And how?
You don't say! Your Highness, we must keep an eye on the time.
Yes, I must not be late. The manager does not like me. He is a communist.
We'll hurry things up. Effie, why don't you go out in the kitchen and get dinner started? Yes, Mother.
I will help too. I'm a very good cook.
Oh, but Your Highness, not on your day off.
I do not mind. That is your kitchen. Come, Palenkov. If they have got sour cream and pot cheese, I will make some beans.
Say, the Grand Duchess is quite all right, isn't she? The Grand Duchess, can I help?
Really? She's a very wonderful woman, you know. Considering she's a Grand Duchess.
It's wonderful what some people go through, isn't it? And still keep kind of gay, too.
She made me forget about everything for a minute.
I better call that cab, I suppose.
No, wait, Paul, here they come. Maybe Tony is... Ed, will you please bring down my big bag?
Don't do it, Ed.
Ed, please.
All right, Ed. Bring it down. Do you know you've got the stubbornest daughter in all 48 states?
Oh, well, that must be the cab.
Well, if it is, it's certainly a wonderful service.
Oh!
Alice, is Tony here?
Yes, he is, Mr. Curry. Please, do come in.
Well, how do you do?
How do you do? Forgive my intruding, but Tony, I need you to come home immediately. Your mother's very upset with you.
Very well, Father. Bye, Alice.
Goodbye, Tony.
Now, I don't need to say this hurts me as much as it hurts you people, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes, and in a way, no. I'm not one to run other people's lives, Mr. Kirby, but I'm afraid that these two young people haven't got quite as much sense as you and I have.
Oh, Grandpa, please don't do this.
Well, I'm just talking to Mr. Kirby. A cat can look at a king, can't he?
You got quite a while before the train goes, Alice.
Hello? Yes. Will you please send a cab to 761 Claremont? Yes, right away, please. Thank you.
Alice?
Oh, Father.
Tony, are you ready?
Now, Mr. Kirby, I bet after last night you think this family's kind of crazy, don't you?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I'm not accustomed to going out for dinner and going to jail to the same night.
Well, you gotta remember that you came on the wrong night. Now tonight, I'll bet you nothing will happen at all. Maybe.
Mr. Vanderhoff, it was not merely last night that convinced me and Mrs. Kirby that this arrangement would be unwise.
I can handle my own affairs. Alice, for the last time, will you marry me?
No, Tony. I understand what your father's saying, and he's right.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Alice, you are in love with this boy. And the only reason that you're not marrying him is because we are the kind of people that we are. Grandpa, oh, I know. You think that the two families wouldn't get along. Well, maybe they wouldn't. But who's to say that they're right and we're wrong?
Grandpa, that's not what I'm saying. It's just that, I only feel...
Well, what I feel is that Tony is too nice of a young man to wake up 40 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
What's that?
Yes, mixed up and unhappy, just the way that you are.
Mr. Vanderhoff, I'm a very happy man.
Are you?
Certainly I am.
Well, I don't think so. What do you think you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No, sir. You get it because most of your time is spent doing things that you don't even want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Yes, you do. You said just the other night that after a week in Wall Street, you're pretty near crazy. So why do you keep on doing it?
Why do I keep on doing it? It's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Well, why not? You've got all the money you need. You can't take it with you.
That's a very easy thing to say, Mr. Vanderhoff, but I've spent my entire life building up this business.
But what's it got you? The same kind of mail every morning, the same kind of deals, the same kind of meetings, the same kind of dinners at night.
What do you expect me to do? Be like you? Do nothing?
Well, I have quite a lot of fun. I got time enough to do everything. To read, to talk, go to circuses and zoos. I even have time to notice when spring rolls around. I don't have to do 6 hours of things that have to get done before I get 1 hour to do what I like it. And I haven't even taken bicarbonate of soda in 35 years. What's the matter with that?
And the matter with that? Well, imagine if everybody did that. How swell of a world we live in. How would the work get done?
Well, there's always going to be people who want to do work because they like it. Inventions, and they fly over the ocean. There's even people who want to go to Wall Street, too, because they enjoy it. But from what I've seen of you, Mr. Kirby, I do not think that you are one of them. I think that you are missing something.
I'm not aware that I'm missing anything.
Oh, I wasn't either, until I quit. I used to get down to that office at 9 o'clock sharp every morning, no matter how I felt. Lay awake for the nights that I feared I wouldn't get that contract. I even worried about the world, too. Got all worked up about whether Cleveland or Blaine was to be elected president. It seemed rather important then, but who cares about it now? My point is, I've got 35 years that nobody can take away from me, no matter how they do to the world. See?
Yes, I do see. And it's a very dangerous philosophy. It's un-American, and exactly why I oppose this marriage.
Why? What's the matter with you, Bob?
What's the matter with it? It's straight down communism, that's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
What are you talking about, Tony? I always have.
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You didn't always think so because there was a time when you wanted to. A trapeze artist.
Don't be an idiot, Tony.
Oh, yes, I've come across those letters you wrote to Grandfather. Do you remember those?
No! How dare you read those letters, Tony? How dare you?
Why, Mr. Kirby, that's wonderful. Did you wear tights?
Certainly not. It was absurd. I was 14 at the time.
Yes, but at 18, you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you?
Tony!
And at 21, you ran away from home because Grandfather wanted you to go into the business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well.
Those were silly notions, but thank God my father knocked them out of me. I went straight to the business and forgot about them.
If that's true, then how come there's still a saxophone in the back of your clothes closet?
There it is.
Tony, we'll discuss this later.
No, I want to talk about this now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. I'm never going back to that office. I've always hated it there. And I'll tell you something else. I didn't make a mistake last night. I knew it was the wrong night. I brought you here on purpose.
What?
Because I wanted you to see a real family as they really were. A family that loved and understood each other. You never understood me. You never had the time. Well, I'll tell you something else. I'm clearing out while I still have a chance.
Clearing out? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not going to be forced into business just because I'm your son. I'm clearing out while I still have a chance.
But Tony, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bricklayer. But at least I'll be doing something I want to do.
Oh, that must be the cab.
Well, last couple, wait a minute, Ed. Grandpa, do you mind, Alice? Now, Mr. Kirby, I think that Tony's going through just what you and I did when we were his age. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear yourself saying the same things to your father 25 years ago. We all did it, and we were right. How many of us would be willing to settle when we're young for what we eventually get? All those plans that we make, what happens to them? It's only a handful of the lucky ones, Mr. Kirby, who can look back and say that they even came close. So if I were you, before they clean out that clothes closet, I would get in a few good hours on that saxophone.
I beg your pardon, but before I make the
Oh, Your Highness, allow me to present Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Kirby Jr., the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
How do you do? Before I make the plaintiffs, how many of us have been to dinner?
Oh, I make quite a stack of them, Your Highness. Can't ever tell.
Good. The Tsar always said to me, Olga, do not be stingy with the plaintiffs.
Say, Mr. Vanderhoff, who was that again?
Well, that was the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking the dinner.
Oh.
And speaking of dinner, Mr. Kirby, why don't you and Tony both stay?
Oh, please do, Mr. Kirby. We've got all that food we were going to have last night.
Tonight.
I mean, tonight.
It's going to be quite a nice feast, Mr. Kirby. And it'll give the families a chance to be acquainted.
How about it, Father? Are we staying for dinner?
Say, Tony, if you'd like to, I'll be glad to.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, if Alice would send away that cab.
What do you say, Alice? It's going to be a pretty nice crowd. Don't you think you ought to stay for dinner?
Come on, Alice, the family's got to get acquainted.
Oh, Mr. Kirby. Tony. Oh, Tony!
Darling.
Oh, Grandpa, you're wonderful.
I've been telling you that for years.
What are you, Grandpa?
Let it be me. Oh, it's the government again.
Now, Mr. Moore, if you'd step into my office, I'd like to do a little dictating.
Oh, Mr. Kirby.
Well, I better go tell the cab.
Well.
What is it, Grandpa?
I don't owe the government a nickel. They apologize. It seems I died 8 years ago.
Why? What did they mean, Grandpa?
Well, you remember Charlie the milkman bearing under my name?
Yes.
Well, I just wrote to the U.S. government and told them that they made a mistake. And I was Mr. Martin Vanderhoff Jr. And they're very sorry, and I may even get a refund.
Grandpa, you old crook.
Oh, sure.
Say, Mr. Vanderhoff, how did you avoid income tax again?
Hi, my friends, we are going to eat.
Hello there.
How do you do?
How do you do?
What has happened?
Relaxing.
Everything will be ready, so you may receive it.
Oh, come on, everyone, dinner's ready.
You would like Russian, Mr. Kirby.
Oh, yes, but you must be careful of your indigestion.
Please don't worry, I don't feel my indigestion anymore.
How are the Adirondacks, Miss Sycamore?
Oh, shut your face, Mr. Kirby.
In Russia, when they sit down to dinner,
All right, quiet everybody. Well, sir, here we are again. Things have been going pretty smoothly recently. Alice and Tony are going to get married, and it looks as if they're going to be very happy. Of course, the fireworks exploded, but that was Mr. DePina's fault, not yours. We've got our help. As far as everything else is concerned, we'll leave it up to you. Thank you.
Amen.
Do you like roast fruits, Mr. Kirby?
Start taking
Kirby,
that.
roast fruits. Here.
Do I like it? Oh, I love roast
Oh,
goods.
Mom, I'm so excited.
you escaped again.
Oh,